Okay, can you guys hear me? Where's the chat? Okay, if you can hear me, write it in the chat, because I can't tell if you can actually, or if the audio is too loud or too low. Okay, perfect. Okay, thanks Sylvia. It's went away a little bit. It's not noon yet. I'm actually getting a bite right now, but I'm holding the phone, so I can't. Trying to multitask. But I do have a camera holder. Like that. Yeah, I'll explain what's going on with the camera in a little bit. So this isn't a filter. I actually managed to crack the camera glass about half an hour ago with a fishing rod. So, oh well. I'm gonna turn the camera to the other side in a minute, just so you can, which is fine. The back camera is, totally clear and all that, so we can see what's going on. Well, you can look at what I'm looking at, but let's reel this one in because the bait is gone. I just had a bite on that float before. Yes, it's Kokanee Lake. Okay. All right. Hey, so welcome. We're doing I think this is the very first live stream we're doing at the water while we're fishing. So, doing a bit of kokanee and trout fishing today at Kokanee Lake in Hope. We're fishing with some bait. This is some shrimp. Just a size 4 hook. I got 2 rods set up, one on the float, one on the bottom, just to try to cover all the spots. So far, it's been okay. Had a few bites on the float. There's quite a few fish rising on the top. Wrong part of the lake. Yeah, it could be. Haven't had a bite for a while though. In the last half an hour, so had a few bites near the beginning, but it's kind of slowed down. These guys behind me haven't caught anything yet either, but they're fishing. I think they're fly fishing. Whereas I'm using bait and cheating a little bit. So, yeah, okay. So let's see. Let's change this view a little bit. Okay, that's better. That's what you guys want to look at, right? Not my face. So I got this rod set up on the bottom. This is a 5-foot long G-Luma spinning rod. It's very sensitive. It's rated 1 to 4 pound. So it's very, very light rod. I need a very sensitive tip for kokanee fishing. I got my sounder down here, trying to see if anything's on the bottom. Anchoring at 44 feet deep. I've seen a few fish going by so far on the bottom, but not a whole lot going on. Haven't had a bite on the bottom. And the other rod right here, this rod right here, I'm float fishing with that rod, and you can kind of see my float out there. Let's see if you can see it. Oh, I'm getting a bite. I'm getting a bite. There's a fish. There's a fish. There you go. So that is a little landlocked coho salmon. I think. Yeah, it's a little cold. See, there's lots of spots on the back. Tiny little guy. This is not what we're going for. I'm gonna let this one go. There you go. There's live stream for you. So this particular rod, and in case you're just joining and wondering what's going on with the camera, I cracked the glass of the foam right here just before we started half an hour ago, and that's why it's kind of blurry. So I'm gonna turn the camera around again and show you what's going on. So you got size 4 hook. Gonna put some shrimp. This is just deli shrimp cured with pasky bait, fire cure. Just a little bit of it. You don't want too much of it. And with the tip of the point of the hook exposed, right? And we're gonna cast this out. There. You see lots of fish like splashing in the background. It's cloudy today, so most of the fish are near the surface, fishing about 4 to 6 feet below the surface, just having that float suspending the bait. I figure that's probably where all the fish are right now, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of fish on the bottom, but lots of fish rising on the top. So far I've caught one kokanee and a few little landlocked cove salmon. And now they're more active now. There's quite a few jumping around. So what's everyone having lunch right now while you're watching this? I haven't had lunch yet because I'm busy fishing, trying to get a kokanee for you guys to see. And then, you know what I like to do? I like to kind of jig that float a little bit, once every few minutes, just to give it some action. Yeah, the freshwater. Someone mentioned, too bad the Freshwater Fish Society doesn't stock coho in lakes. The Freshwater Fish Society is only responsible for trout and kokanee stockings in lakes. Coho falls under the DFO's jurisdiction, so they're not responsible for that. Let's see. Just trying to read the chat while I'm looking at the float too, making sure that float is not going down. If that float goes down, you guys better type and let me know, because I'm not watching the float all the time. I'm trying to watch the float, trying to watch my other rod on the bottom at the same time, reading the chat and looking at the sounder as well. So I'm doing 4 things at once with 2 eyes. So this is Kakwa Lake in Hope. The lake opened on March 1st for fishing, and there's lots of there's good kokanee fishing here, and there's landlocked coho like what I just caught before, and also there's cutthroats and rainbow trout in here, and a few sturgeon actually on the bottom. All right, so let's see. I want to get a kokanee before this finishes. So that little float out there, it's a tiny DNE trout float. It's rated 6 gram heavy. These are new floats that just came out last year. I actually asked DNE to make some of these for float fishing for lakes in trout. Well, what did I say? For lakes in trout? No, for trout in lakes. Brain fart. So, okay. Any idea when the lakes will be stocking lower mainland, like Green Timbers, Lafarge, Como, and Rice? I haven't checked with the hatchery yet, but usually it's done right before right before spring break, which is coming up in, well, next week, I guess, next 2 weeks. But it really depends. It really depends on the conditions of the lakes. The water temperature has to be just right. If it's too cold, still, the fish will not do very well when you release them into the lakes. So, but you know what? I'll find out from the hatchery in the coming week, and I'll be posting that on Facebook and Instagram for you all to see. But I know that the goal is usually trying to get the fish into the lakes before spring break starts, so all the kids have a chance to get out and catch some fish. So, all right, why is that float not going down? Okay, so we got some shrimp right here that I'm using right now. Kokanee love these. You can use krill as well, but I find krill tend to be pretty soft for them. So you can use those. You can use some single eggs, like these Potski single eggs. Green label is good, but I like these pink shrimp ones as well. You can also use flies as well. Chronomets work pretty well here. I've seen a few bugs coming off today, but not a whole lot. So just kind of sticking with bait right now. Fishing at Kakwa Lake in Hope right now. Can you guys see the float? Yeah, you can see the float. See how I jig out a little bit and the float just kind of pops down and back up again? Hoping that we'll get another bob down during this live video. I've already had one little coho. Be nice to see a kokanee. I do have a kokanee in the top that I kept earlier. So I'll show you that in a bit. Oh, we're getting bites. Is that a bite? Sometimes these kokanee they bite pretty softly, even though that float is pretty tiny. It's only about 6 grams heavy. It still doesn't completely go down. Like that first kokanee I had today, the float just kind of, didn't completely go down, just kind of dipped a little bit. So, yeah, keep watching the float. If you see the float going down, you better tell me in the chat, because I'm doing quite a few things at once. No, that's just me. I might have to cast out again. So the way I like to do it is, if I'm float fishing, I don't like to be too close to the boat. I want to be a little further out, because the shallower I am, I want to be further out. But if I'm fishing near the bottom, let's say right here where I'm anchoring at 40 feet deep water, if I'm fishing on the bottom, dropping it straight down is totally fine, because you're still really, really far away from the boat. Yeah, I cracked, so like right before the live video started, about half an hour ago, I actually managed to crack the screen of my phone, yeah, with the fishing rod. So everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. So the weather today is cloudy. See, it's cloudy, but not raining, so that's good. I like it when it's cloudy, and look at the water. It's glass. There's no wind, and this is really perfect. And when it's cloudy like this, the fish have a tendency to come up to the top. So how long do I wait before I change the float depth and cast to different locations? Probably, like, if I don't get any bites in half an hour, I would move for sure. But I'm still seeing quite a few fish coming up around me, so I'm not going to move. Plus, since we're doing a live video right now, I don't really want to move around too much. I want to spend the time fishing at one spot. Okay, so I cast it out quite a bit further out this time. Well, started out pretty far and it's just slowly working my way back. And there's quite a few fish splashing out there. Most of them are little coho, but I'm hoping that we'll get a kokanee on the top. Most of the coho in this lake, the landlocked coho, are not very big. They're kind of stunted. They're usually around anywhere from, I guess, 6 to 8. Oh, there's a bite. Oh, I missed it. Oh, no. Is it gonna come back? Is the bait gone? The bait, I think that was a good bite. The bait might be gone now. I have to change. I have to change up. Okay, I was saying that the coho are anywhere from 6 to 8 inches long, and you can't keep these fish. It's closed for retention, so you have to release them. The kokanee in here are anywhere from 10 to 14 inches long for this time of year, but I caught them up to 18 inches long in the summertime. Concentrate, yeah. Well, I'm trying to look at the chat and watching the float at the same time. Okay, I'm going to reel this in because I think the bait is gone. Yeah, I can't feel any bait on there. Oh look, there's a fish on the bottom. So there's a fish on the bottom right there. Okay, let's get the let's change up. Let's get the bait going again. See, no bait. So that fish robbed me pretty cleanly. It was pretty fast. Now I'm sad. It's okay. Let's. All right, here we go. That looks beautiful. Look at that. So when you put the shrimp on, you want to thread it along the body instead of piercing through just one spot, and this keeps the shrimp on pretty firmly. Okay, let's get it out there. Make sure you guys are watching the other rod too. If that starts getting bite, you better tell me. Okay, that was pretty fast. I think it was only like a minute after I cast out there. Okay. Okay, so kokanee fishing around Chilliwack. You can find kokanee in Cultus at Jones Lake and Chilliwack Lake, Alouette, Kakwa, which is where I am right now. They all have cocoa. Oh, there's a fish, there's a fish. There's a fish. I think it's another coho. Oh, maybe. Oh, is that a kokanee? It is a kokanee. It is a kokanee. There you go. That is a kokanee. Fights way harder to see, way harder than the coho before. We are gonna keep this fish because they are very good for eating. Okay. There you go. There's a Kakwa Lake kokanee, about 14 inches long, maybe a bit longer, 14, yeah. Nice fish. Nice fish. All right, I'm glad I got one in the live video. This is my second one. Got another one in already. You can keep 4 in this lake per day, per person. So, ha! My wife is, Nina's cheering me on. You done with lunch yet? So what's everyone eating for lunch? Okay, let's get it out there. So they're biting. 2 bites in the last 10 minutes or so. And anyone tuning right now, in case you're wondering why it's all foggy, I managed to crack the screen of my phone half an hour before we started the live video. So we're gonna look on the other way now. Okay, so the shrimp is working, so there's no reason to change. And the float is working as well. So you don't want it too much on there. You know, this is a size 4 hook, and we're just, you know, putting enough on there so that the tip of the hook is exposed. Let's get it out there. Perfect. Matthew, this is a Kakwa Lake in Hope. Oh, it just went down. Did it? Oh, that was a bite, that was a bite, that was a bite, that was a bite. It's gonna come back. They usually will come back as long as there's bait on the hook. That was right. Oh, there he goes. There. Oh, see how? Oh, missed it. Missed the bite. See how softly those kokanee bite? Down it. Okay, let's get another bait on there. What's going on with the other rods? Nothing's happening there. Okay. Got another bait on. Let's cast it out again. They're biting. A little too far to the left, but that's okay. The setup, I'm float fishing for them because lots of fish splashing out on the top. Most of the fish are feeding on the surface. So I got my float, I've got my bait suspended about 5 feet below the surface, and using a size 4 hook, baited with daily shrimp that's cured with Pasky bait fire cure. So it's dyed pink, so it stands out in the water a little bit. Oh, sun's coming out. Oh, it's biting again. Sun's out, biting again. And see how lightly they're biting it. You definitely want to stick with a tiny float. This DNE float is rated 6 gram, and even at 6 gram, it only dips a little bit. The float that we use for salmon fishing, it's 15, 20, 25 grams, and those are not ideal for this kind of fishing. So you want to go out and get yourself a really small float for this type of fishing. Oh, there it goes again. Tiny little bite. And that's, oh, I just missed that one. Come on, let's go again. Let's go. Yeah, oh, damn it. I missed it again. Okay, you guys must be like screaming into the screen right now. What are you doing? So the float depth, it's 5 feet below the surface. Anywhere from 4 to 8 is good. So again, baiting up with some shrimp. There you go. All right, bites on. Getting bites once every few minutes now, so that's good. I don't know how I missed that last one. Like, the whole float was down, and I'm also trying to. I'm trying to hook. The way I'm holding the rod right now, you can't see it, but I got my camera in front of me, and I'm holding the rod a little awkwardly, so it's kind of hard to set the hooks. You know, excuses, right? I'm fishing for kokanee. Oh, there's another bite. Fishing for kokanee, which are landlocked sockeye salmon right now. Oh, there's another one. Yes. There's another kokanee. There's another kokanee. I think. Yeah, another kokanee. I think we'll keep this one as well. This one's a little smaller than the last one. But, you know, I don't know, we'll keep them. We'll keep our limit of 4 and that'll be it for the live stream. So, there's no need to, yeah. There you go. This one is about probably like 13 inches maybe. Yeah. No, actually, no, it's about the same length. It's just a little skinnier. Okay, that's 3 fish landed since we started about 26 minutes ago. First one was a little coho, landlocked coho, which is not our target species. And then the last 2 fish are kokanee, which is what we're trying to catch today. Let's bait up again, and they're biting. Okay, so I'll show you the float. This is the D&E float I'm using. You can see it's 6 grams. You can get them 6 or 8, I believe, so 6 or 10. I can't remember. But these smaller ones just came out last year, and they're really ideal for trout fishing and kokanee fishing lakes. Yeah, so I actually asked D&E to produce these ones because we don't really have a whole lot of light floats for lakes, good floats for lakes. And these are really good. As you can see, they're working pretty well right now. Okay, let's get this out again. Yes, so these kokanee would take lures as well. I do have a spinning rod set up with a spoon on it, which I'll show you in a bit. I might start jigging with it. You can cast and retrieve the spoon if you want, or spinners, or you can drop it straight down to the bottom. We're anchoring at 40 feet of water right here. You can drop it down to the bottom and just jig it around the bottom as well. But since they're biting on the float right now, there's really no need for that. Let's see if we can produce another float down for you all to see. And kokanee are schooling fish, so you know if you get a bite, and most likely we'll get another one shortly as well. So Kakwa Lake, it's not a stock lake, that's right. So these kokanee are native to the lake. They spawn naturally in the lake, and that's kind of the reason I'm not really catching and releasing them. So I'm keeping, there's a daily quota of 4 fish, and so I think once I get my 4 fish, I probably will just stop today. And yeah, there's no, I don't know, like catching and releasing is fun. I also don't want to do it too much, depending on the lake, right? So on a naturally produced population, I want, oh, float down. That's a big fish. Oh, yes, look at that. That's a bigger fish. That's a bigger kokanee. That's a big kokanee. Oh. Yes, that's a big one. We'll keep that one for sure. Okay, well that was fast. I kept one earlier today already, and this is number number 4 I'm keeping. So that's my limit for the day. Oh, slimy, which is a good thing. Slime's in the boat. Okay, so let's talk about what I'm using today. Or shall we do another cast? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, guys? Should I put the bait out there just for another demo? Walleye biting. You know, I'm trying not to impact the fish too much. We can just cast out. Well, you know what? First thing I'm gonna do, now that I have my limit, I'm gonna pinch the barb. I am using a barb hook today, which you're allowed. So I'll do that. All right. And we'll cast this out just to demonstrate properly here. Okay, so this is a size 4 owner hook. And you know what, you can use size 6, size 8, but I tend to stick with size 4 simply because I don't want the fish to swallow the bait too much. And that tends to happen if you use a smaller hook when you're bait fishing. This leader right here, it's about 1.5 feet long. And yeah, and this is 6-pound test seagull fluorocarbon. Very, very thin. And this main line, I got a swivel right here, and above the swivel, I got weights to balance the float. This is tungsten, so I stopped using lead weight for a while now, and this works great. So tungsten, and then we got the sliding DNE float, 6-gram float, which is ideal for this type of fishing. This main line right here is Maxima Ultra Green. I believe it's 6 pound, and I like to use mono for my main line when I'm flow fishing instead of braided line. So okay, so let's put a bait back on and just cast it out there, show you guys what's going on here. Okay, so shrimp, you thread the shrimp along the body instead of piercing, you know, just across the body. So this way, the shrimp can stay on there pretty nicely. It doesn't really come off. The shrimp sits on the shank of the hook with the tip exposed. Okay, and we're gonna cast this out. Okay, let's see. All right, so whip it out there. This rod right here, it's a 9-foot long spinning rod. It's actually custom built from a fly fishing rod blank. It's a 5-weight blank, so it's really ideal for flow fishing. For flow fishing, I like to use a longer rod, so like a 9-foot long rod. It's nice, but you can't find those in the stores very much. So that's why I got this one custom built. And being a 5-weight fly blank, it's very flexible. It's great for any fish between 1 pound up to 6 pound. Puts up a really nice bend on the rod. So, okay. So you can get another float down. So someone was asking about flies. Yeah, you can use flies in this lake. So these fish during this time of year and coming up in the next few weeks will feed on chronomets for sure. So you can use those as well. You can suspend them near the bottom if you get a good hatch going on. We don't really, I've seen a few bucks coming off today, but not a whole lot. But when you do get a good hatch going on, you can put a fly on there, just suspend it near the bottom, 1 foot off the bottom, and you will get kokanee that way for sure. or any red flies. I've done this before, like kind of suspending a red fly, like a bloodworm or whatnot, under an indicator works pretty well as well. So yeah, so this once you cast your float out there, you can see it's out there right now. You want to keep the line from the tip of the rod to the float somewhat tight, but not tighten up. See how if I pull a little bit, the float's gonna come back towards me. But you want to try to reduce the bend. So to see how it's creating like a belly on the line between the rod and the float, you want to try to prevent that so that when you do get a bite, you know, there's not too much slack line out there that you can actually connect with the fish right away. But you also don't want that line to be too tight, so it doesn't pull the float back towards you. So one way you can, if you're fishing in a boat, one way you can reduce that is by fishing with the wind behind you, coming from behind you. So this way the float is always going away from you. How deep the water is what's the question? How deep am I anchoring at? So this is, let's see, 44 feet deep right here. And usually we'll catch those fish on the bottom, but because we got a cloudy day today and we're seeing a lot of fish feeding on the top, so that's why I'm kind of focusing on the top. I got the bait sitting on the bottom on this rod as well, but so far I haven't seen anything yet. I've seen a few fish on the sounder, but really, like the last couple hours, haven't seen any action at all on the bottom. Just on the float, as you can see in the last half an hour, we've had, well, what is it, like half a dozen bites. Landed 3 kokanee and 1 coho. So trolling is the best way to catch them. Yes and no. Trolling definitely, you know, if you keep trolling around the lake, you definitely will encounter fish. But I think if you want to get into fish consistently, I like to anchor up and keying on fish that are feeding in a particular area. Like right now, as you can see in the last half an hour, we did have quite a few bites, just by kind of anchoring near a school of fish. We got fish rising around us actually. So yeah, but yeah, it just depends. Personally, I don't like trolling too much because I like this hands-on, being able to hold the rod in my hand, watching the float. This type of fishing really gets me going. Some people really like trolling, but it's just not necessary for me. So it's just personal preference, I guess. Okay, you know what? I guess the lake knows that I got my limit and the float is not going down anymore. What's going on here, right? Okay, you know what? One more cast before we finish the live video. Let's cast straight out that way. That's where we had the bites before. I don't think it makes a difference because I think these fish actually swim around quite a bit. So, you know, they're not just at one particular spot. Yes, I do have a video of me back in 2016 vertically jigging for these fish with a spoon. I do have that rod set up, it's over there. But since I'm not seeing that many fish on the bottom, I haven't really tried that yet. I was gonna try it if I start seeing fish on the sounder, but I haven't. So, and that jigging method, I think it's pretty ideal for kids. You know, kids tend to, it's hard for kids to sit here and just kind of hold the rod and waiting patiently for that float. You know, when the float does go down, it's pretty exciting for them, but the waiting part, it can be really hard to make sure they don't, you know, pull the lining or whatnot, right? So by having the line, the spoon around the bottom, lure around the bottom, for them to kind of wiggle the rod around, jigging around, that gives them a bigger chance of catching the fish. So yeah, so many different methods to use. They all catch fish. It just depends on, I guess, personal preference and who's using it. I'm gonna give this for another 5 minutes, and then we can wrap it up. Because that's pretty good. That was a pretty good session. 3 kokanee in half an hour, and one earlier at around 10:30 when I cracked my phone. So got my limit, and I can go home in, I guess, in half an hour from now, and take care of the rest of the stuff I need to do at home. Ooh, so leftover having miso link. Okay, so I was watching Netflix last night. I watched a lot of cooking shows, and funny enough, I was watching someone, I guess, marinating fish in miso and kind of making it into a stew. Something I'm gonna try, I think. Lures and spoons. What color presentation do I personally like? I like copper. I like gold. I like silver and nickel, brass. I don't really have for this type of fishing. I don't really have a preference. Really, the water's so clear. I think anything shiny, anything silvery, should work pretty well. Okay, so how do I manage the summer fishing with the number of the ski boats around? I don't come here. I pretty much don't come here after the end of June, just simply for that reason. The heavy traffic, not just the wake boats, but also just the heavy traffic around the boat launch. Summertime, I tend to be doing other stuff like ocean fishing, going to the interior lakes and stuff. This lake just simply gets too busy. It's nice today. There's only like 3 other boats around us. See, there's 3 other boats around us, and then there's me at one end of the lake. And yeah, it's quiet. It's peaceful. I was gonna say there's no wind, but the wind just started picking up right now. So yeah, perfect timing. And we got cloudy sky, but no rain. And it's not too cold. I think today's about 10 degrees, but it doesn't feel that cold. I was actually a little worried that it was going to be cold while I'm doing this, but no, it's been pretty fun. Hope you guys have enjoyed the live stream so far too. So yeah, so July and August it gets pretty busy at this lake. The fishing can be good. The kokanee fishing can be good all the way until early August, before they go into spawning mode. So these fish will spawn in September and October. I'm just scrolling back to see some of the chat, see if we're missing any other questions. Yeah, so break out the lures. I'm probably not gonna use the lure today. It's kind of funny that we got like 3 kokanee in a row, and then now in the last 10 minutes we just haven't had any bites. The lake's gonna be busy in the next few days. Maybe, but it's a big lake, so I'm not really that concerned about it. That's why I wasn't hesitant to mention the name of the lake. But yeah, it's a good fishery. If you have a boat, come out here, enjoy it. It's not really a shore fishing lake. There's really no access from shore. Yeah, the school moved on. Yeah, so the plan is to definitely do more live stream like this in the future, depending on where I have service and stuff. I purposely bought a new microphone for this. You can hear the microphone. You're not picking up any wind. I'm wearing a wireless microphone right now to do this. So, oh yeah. So going back a little bit, So is the float running free on the line? Yes, so it's a sliding float that runs free on the line with the float stoppers on the very top. I got my float stoppers sitting about 5 feet above the hook right now. You know, anywhere from 4 to 8 feet is where you want it to be. So I will not biting anymore. So I will end the live stream right here. Excuse the blurriness of the screen because I mentioned earlier I cracked my phone glass right before the live stream started today with my fishing rod. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this live stream event. We've been doing it for the last 45 minutes. I'm happy that I managed to show you guys some fish while doing this. Hopefully we'll be doing more in the near future again, and thank you for joining in. If you have done so, subscribe to the channel. I'm always really happy to see your support, really appreciate it. And yeah, more videos to come. I'm gonna start packing up now, and oh yeah, I'm gonna show you the fish before we go. There you go, my 4 kokanee of the day. Good day. Okay, thanks for watching. Until next time, good luck fishing. Now, how do I stop this? I don't know how to stop this. I probably should. Oh yeah, here you go. I'm gonna stop it now. See you guys.